What's going on YouTube? Watsim here again with another Forza 6 tuning video. And today, as you can see, we have the legendary Ferrari F40. Now, obviously with it being Ferrari F40, yes, that does mean I am tuning for S-Class. This has been requested from both my stream on Twitch and from a couple of viewers on my YouTube channel. So here we go, as requested, here it is. Now, it has been a week since my last tuning video, and that has been because I have been learning how to tune for S-Class. Now, there are a lot of differences I've learned. S-Class and A-Class, actually S-Class and lower classes, let's just separate it like that. Lower classes, the stuff that I've been teaching, or the stuff that's been in my previous videos, very much effective for those classes. For S-Class, forget it. We need to change the script. It doesn't work. It's nowhere near as effective. I've had to mix things up, learn different ways of doing it, but I'm probably a better tuner for it. So with all that being said, let's have a look what I did to this legendary car. Now, I have to admit one thing. I did slightly take a shortcut with this car. I loved this car in Forza 5. I had it in A-Class in Forza 5. So, with the feature on Forza 6 of being able to redeem previous tunes from previous games from Forza 5, I did upload that just to see what it was like in this game, see if the handling was still the same, see if it actually worked. And the immediate difference was the PI. As I say, in Forza 5 it was A-Class, so it was 700. On Forza 6 it's S-Class, and it's not even slightly S-Class. I think it was about 760 something into S-Class. In fact, I think I've still got it, I can upload it. Here we go. It's 761. Now, that just shows, that's an example of how much certain cars have been buffed, if you want to look at it that way, or classes have been nerfed, i.e. classes are less powerful, or cars are more powerful. Whichever way you want to see it, that's what's happened. So, obviously you can't leave it as a 761, so I've had to change it slightly. Now I've got two tunes for it. I'll call that one Love It, and that one's, I'll call that one Better, but that one uses my classic tuning method, in which, you know, you take the weight of the car, divide it by the percentage weight, and then, sorry, times it by the percentage weight, 0. Whatever the percentage weight is, then divide that by 2. This one, called Better, doesn't do that. It uses the new techniques that I've used. I've referenced R-Class cars, because I've been doing a bit of the league racing and the R-Class racing, and I've looked at the way those cars are tuned and the way they handle, and I've referenced those into the way I'm tuning for S-Class. Particularly cars like this in S-Class. I think if you wanted to, you know, uprate some of the American muscle cars or some of the lesser powerful A-Class cars, shall we say, into S-Class. So like, say you know, like a coupe or just a normal sedan or maybe a hatchback or whatever. I think using the classic method would work. But for high performance supercars like the F40, I think using the way I'm now tuning for S-Class would be a much more effective way. So with that being said, let's have a look. Right. So, I haven't changed any of the engine, I can show you that. I've got no aero on this. It's something that I was very proud of on Forza 5, actually, not having aero on this car, because it made it amazing in A-Class, it really did. Tyres. We've gone for street tyres, sorry, I need to sport there. Street tyres. They're as wide as they can be on the front and as wide as they can be on the rear. That's 375 there. That's a huge tyre. That is huge, but it's necessary. And as you look at the stats, that's the S-Class, everything's been increased. So handling 6.2, braking 6.1, and we've got acceleration and speed obviously much higher as well. Wheels, we have the lightest wheels you can get, and I've made them as big as possible on front and rear. That's mainly for PI reasons. I wouldn't typically do that in this class so much, but PI, I needed an extra couple of PI, and that gave me. Clutch, no race clutch. We do have a racing transmission, we have a racing driveline, and we have a race diff, of course. Brakes, of course. Suspension's been done. Anti-roll bars on the front and rear. There is no roll cage, although it wasn't it for a bit, but that was from the initial tune that I uploaded from Forza 5. It was in, but don't need it now. and the weight has been taken out. This car is incredibly light. 2,600 for a car like of this class. It's pretty decent. I do have a race intake on it. No fuel system. No ignition. We do have a race exhaust. That's saving more weight again. We do have a race cams. We have race valves. We have a race engine block. We have race pistons. We haven't touched the turbos. Haven't touched the intercooler. Haven't touched the oil and cooling. And we have a stock flywheel. Just see if I can put it on there. We can't. Right, so that's the parts out of the way. As usual, play with those with what you want. If you want to change things slightly there to get a better result, fair enough. The numbers. Now this is where things get a little bit more complicated, shall I say. Right, with them being street tyres, of course, we're 28.5 front and rear. The gearbox I haven't really touched at all. To be honest, I've left it where it is. I quite like where it is. Right, here we go. Camber, more camber. We have minus 2.5 on the front, and we have minus 1.4 on the rear. Now that is a fair bit more on the front than we usually have, and a little bit more on the rear. We have 0.01 toe out on the front and no toe at all on the rear, and the caster is set to 5.7. Now this car's really stable, so you don't need any toe on the rear, I found anyway. And the front just need a little bit just to give it that little extra, you know, responsiveness through the corners. Anti-roll bars, here's the first change. Much softer than usual. Much softer. I mean, I have got other setups that I've done on other cars in this class that are even softer than this. But as usual, you know, each car requires different things. This is what I found works best for this. So at the front we've got 25.11 and at the rear we've got 18.91. Now again, those can be moved around a lot. This is all very variable. I think these tunes more than ever, more than A-class tunes in particular, you can play around with a hell of a lot more. That is what I'm at right now. I could easily change that. But as far as I'm concerned, that's fine. Where I like it, perfect. Springs. Now these springs have been set at the base of what I would usually do. So, take the weight of the car, times it by 0. Whatever the front weight bias is, divide it by 2 to give you your initial spring rate. Okay. Then obviously you do the same for the rear to get your initial swing rate for the rear as well. So you do whatever the remaining one, the remaining weight, etc. You know, we've been through it before. Doesn't matter. Big change is that is nowhere near where the base is. That they are both much higher. They are. I think I've raised these both by about 90 or 100. So I think the front should be sitting at about 569, and the rear should be about what, about 758 roughly, maybe 748. I don't know. It's around that. I know it's between 7 and 90. I've raised them. I can't quite remember exactly what it was. But the rule from it is S-Class cars like this, from what I have learnt so far, make the springs harder, up to 100, maybe at just over 100. I wouldn't go much more than over 100 though, because you're going to lose more responsiveness. So make the springs harder, but make the anti-roll bars softer. As I said, I've referenced that from R-Class cars, proper GT cars, GT3 cars. I've been racing a lot in the league, and I've been using the Aston Martin DBR9, and I checked out the setup on that and ran the numbers through, figured out that the springs were a hell of a lot stiffer than they perhaps should be, right? Not should be, but would be in a base tune, and that the anti-roll bars, I mean, that's softer. I mean, the anti-roll bars on that thing, you should check them out. I think the front is set to about 11 and the rear is set to about 7. Now that's a high performance race car, so you know, it kind of gets away with it. It's you know, it's got no weight to it at all, and it's got epic downforce as well. This thing doesn't have any extra downforce on it. So with that being said, the base rule is, like I say, I'll run through it one more time. Anti-roll bars make them slightly softer, or much softer in some cases. I've done a Noble, and I've had to make those much softer. I mean, that car's still in work in progress. I will have that as an upload soon. As I say, work in progress. Really hard work, that one. And the springs make them about as much as 100 harder, maybe a little bit more. As I say, I think these are around between 70 and 90. and ride heights. Now I've tried to keep this car stable. If you leave it, it goes down. It's 3 inches left in front. Now that's because I race first person, and I don't like the view that gives me, and I feel that the front digs in a bit more if I leave it like that. So I've left it so that the whole car is at the exact same height. That might just be a psychological thing for me, but I think it's helped a lot with the way that the car, particularly the front end, responds through the corners. I mean, that might just be me. I don't know. As I say, if you don't like it, change it. It's fine. Okay, rebound stiffness. As you can see, this is really high. 9.5 on the front, 10.5 on the rear. Now this car is mid-engine, it's very light, it's got a lot more weight towards the rear. In those cases, usually you want more rebound towards the rear. Not all the time, but usually. So that is the case with this. It looks like the rear should be really live on it. I assure you it's not. It's great. And we've got bump sniffers set to 1.5. Now, as I say, I've uploaded this straight from Forza 5. I haven't changed the bump. I have changed the rebound. But the bump's set to 1.5. I think it's fine there. It's slightly softer than I usually do. But that's what it is. So I can't really explain any more than that. As it's no downforce, stock. Brakes set to 50% and 86% towards the rear. Now, I said for A-Class, I aim between, well, I aim for around about 260 feet from braking from 100 miles an hour. S-Class I'm aiming for slightly lower. I'm going for between sort of 230, 240, 230 ideally, but if I go any lower than this, then the brakes are so unresponsive that you don't really feel them at all. So that for me is working fine right now. Again, if it doesn't work for you, adjust it, feel free. I like it there. And the diff, not much difference between the diff is this from A-Class. It's 80 acceleration and 83 deceleration. Now, as I say, it's a lot different, this tuning for S-Class. It's a very big learning experience for me. So if you don't like it and it doesn't work for you, please do leave a comment in the comment section. Tell me about it. I will try and work on it, and I'll try and change it more. But I really like the way this is right now. I've tested this around S.p.A. and Silverstone, and I think I went around Nürburgring a couple of times, and I think it's amazing. I think it flies. I don't know if the times are good because I've not done much or any S-Class racing at all. I'm about to do the first one tonight. I'm about to stream later on, and I'm going to do my first S-Class hoppers tonight. And I'm going to be running this, so we'll see how it goes. But I like it. I like the way it is right now. So please do leave a comment in the comment section if you like it. If you do like it, drop a like on the video as well. Tell me about what you think about it. Subscribe to the channel. And yeah, we'll see you next time. Bye bye.